Good evening and welcome to 7 Eyewitness News. I'm Samantha Ratt and thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at our major headlines. Police are investigating the rape of a 14-year-old girl. The National Security Minister says the death threats against the Prime Minister must not be taken lightly. Attorney General Anand Ramlogan reveals government's intention to sue Chief Secretary over London and the Tobago House of Assembly. And in business, opposition Senator Fitzgerald Hines calls on the Attorney General to investigate corrupt deals at several state companies. Straight to our top story now, police have launched a manhunt for a rapist in West Trinidad as a teenager was raped last night in Glencoe. Reports state that the teenager was home with her mother around 8:30 when they were alerted by barking dogs. At that point, a man climbed down from the roof and entered through an open window. The man then tied up the mother and daughter and proceeded to rob them of their cellular phones and several other items. He then proceeded to rape the young lady amidst their pleas not to hurt them, after which he left the teenager. And she is said to be the daughter of a well-known political activist of the area and also an appointee to a government establishment. Investigations are continuing by officers from the Western Division. We will come to you with some more news of crime later on in the newscast. With the debates between Congress and the People members set to take place from tomorrow, the COP called a conference today to address electoral concerns. Chairman of their Elections Commission, Valence Rambarat, urged the public to follow the debate and scrutinize its members. Rambarat strengthened the effectiveness of having these debates as part of the selection process.
The concept of political debates. We feel strongly that it is good to put competing politicians on the same platform so that they can debate issues and reduce the incidence of political rhetoric and character assassination. We have 21 candidates who will be all present on one platform, presenting their campaign statements, debating, answering questions from the membership, answering questions from the media. And we feel at the end of the day, they will be well scrutinized so that the membership can make an informed decision about who they want to lead for the Congress of the People for the next 2 years.
With this new format, the Commission hopes to change the way that politics is viewed by the public, aspiring to take politics in this country to the next level. Rambarat hopes that everyone can come on board, adding that since it was first used in the electing of the leader of the party, Prakash Ramadar, last year, no complaints have yet been made. And the chairman stated also that for this campaigning period, they have implemented a $5,000 cap for each candidate, though a much larger sum is put in for the debate series that commences October 18th, 2011.
$5,000. But that sum is important because the Congress of the People spends the money to host the campaign platforms, the debate series. We are spending as a party close to $200,000 to create the opportunity for candidates to be heard by the membership.
And the first of the three-part series of debates take place at Gaston Court in Chaguanas from 7:30 tomorrow night. Meanwhile, National Security Minister Jack Warner says he was afraid to go public with information that Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesas has been threatened, in addition to being advised by the police to keep quiet. Warner said he wanted to avoid a similar fallout when he publicized death threats to opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley.
Need for me to go public after the abuse I suffered from Mr. Rowley. I became very cautious, but the fact is that the police were on top of it, and we all agreed to keep it low, right, and not put it in public domain. For again, this is a very cynical society. They say you're playing politics. So I said to keep it low, and let us do what we have to do.
On Monday, a porter at the Piarco International Airport appeared in court charged with crime related to death threats made to Prasad Bisesas. Warner said he had been briefed on the matter.
The guy did not call once, he called twice, and he made these threats, and they were able to intercept the phone call. and they were able to find out that he worked at the airport and to work in a sensitive area as the airport and to make those foolish kind of threats. One has to take it seriously. So I think the police are on it, and I don't want to say much more. It's in the court, and that's where I leave it.
Meanwhile, the file on the police incident involving MP Colin Partap still has not been submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, SC, and Acting Commissioner of Police Stephen Williams is assuring that there is nothing dubious about it. Williams previously indicated that the file would have been submitted by Monday.
I indicated to the media that I am projecting by the 15th of October, I would be in a position to submit the file to the DPP. On the 15th of October, there was one outstanding document for my submission. I'm still awaiting on it, but I give the assurance by the end of the week that file will be with the DPP.
2 months ago, Partap was arrested by police near the Zen nightclub and was later taken to the Belmont police station after it was alleged that he refused to take a breathalyzer test. Partap was then fired as a junior minister by Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Williams, who spoke to reporters on Tuesday night, said he could not say more on the matter.
Explaining all the details in relation to the inquiry and all, because at the end of the day I'll be prosecuting the matter in the public domain, and that wouldn't be proper, right? So I've given the media that assurance, and that's what I'll be doing.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Andan Ramlogan SC says government intends to sue Chief Secretary over London and the Tobago House of Assembly. Ramlogan spoke during the budget debate this morning and says the decision to sue comes in light of the THA's multi-million-dollar deal over a lease back with a company called Milshriv Limited. Ramlogan said London and the THA violated Section 51 of the THA Act in entering into the bold arrangement with the company in which the Rahel family has a stake.
That the Honourable Minister of Finance bring a claim and file legal action against Mr. London and the THA to seek a declaration from the court that Section 51 was violated and the actions of Mr. London and the THA was illegal in entering into that boat arrangement for Milshriv Complex.
London had no legal authority to enter into the deal, according to Ramlogan. He adds that there were many unanswered questions, especially in light of the fact that there was no tendering process.
How did these people know that Orville London want an office complex in the first place to come and approach him with the proposal? How did he know? This man had this piece of land and suddenly he had a vision or a dream, and he get up with a vaps and just jump out of the pajama zone, run down the road and say, Orville, I hear a dream last night, you want a complex to put the agriculture division in, and I'll go build it for you. How does man know that? This is a strange case of political telepathy.
While returning to some news in crime now, crime does not discriminate, and that is something that former Tourism Minister Joseph Ross learned last evening as he was robbed at gunpoint on the Beetham Highway. Ross was proceeding west along the Beetham Highway when, on reaching approximately 500 feet east of the Beetham dump, his vehicle broke down. Within seconds, a lone gunman walked up to him and proceeded to rob him of $3,800 in cash, his BlackBerry cell phone and other personal items amounting to approximately $10,000. The man then escaped, running across the highway into the Beetham estate. It was reported that Mr. Ross was not physically hurt in the ordeal. A report was subsequently made to the Bessor Street Police Station and investigations are continuing. Ross was the former Member of Parliament for Baratara Sawan before losing to Dr. Fuad Khan in the 2010 general elections. In response, National Security Minister Jack Warner said the former minister was pleased with the response of the police.
But he came to see me and he commended the Bessor Street Police very highly. He said their work was commendable. He praised them to the heavens for what they did last night.
In an interview with the media earlier, Minister Warner said he would like to see more work like this from police officers.
And I believe that is the kind of thing I would like to see more and more about in terms of the police response and the fact that the public, the people, particularly Joseph Ross, he was very happy with the work that they did.
2 men have been found executed in a motor car in St. Joseph. Around 11:30 last night, a team of officers acting on information went to Farm Road and saw a green Mazda motor car parked with its engine running on a gravel track opposite the St. Joseph Secondary School. The two men were seen in the front passenger seat and the driver's seat with gunshot wounds to their heads. They were identified as brothers, 32-year-old Rudolph and 23-year-old Dimitri Chambers. Rudolph lived in Tobago while Dimitri lived at Bedesi Street, St. Augustine. Investigators believe that the killer may have also been a passenger of the vehicle based on the angle of the wounds. Officers have not established a motive for this double homicide. Visiting the scene were Inspector Mark Mirage, WP Sergeant Mitchell and officers from the Northern Division and Homicide Bureau. The murder total now stands at 322. Meanwhile, 123 grams of marijuana has been found hidden in various parts of the Samoa market. Officers from the Northeastern Division Task Force carried out an exercise yesterday and locked down the market. The officers also held a 34-year-old Samoa man with 34 grams of cocaine. The officers also found a camouflage army jacket and a bulletproof vest in an abandoned house in Morvan. The exercise was supervised by ASP Mahabir and Corporal Sunil Barath, PCs Furlong and Ford. With millions around the world suffering from drastic effects of poverty, World Poverty Eradication Day was established today, October 17th, 19 years ago. Earlier today, the Ministry of the People and Social Development held their poverty reduction program at the St. Finbar's RC Church in Diego Martin. The Minister, Dr. Glenn Ramadar Singh, addressed the audience of students from various schools in the area as they made presentations in commemoration of the event. And the program themed Youth, Let Your Voice Be Heard, Ramadar Singh spoke on the issue of poverty and the dire effects on our society.
Get even more serious about eradicating extreme poverty because it leads to human suffering, it leads to disease, it leads to malnutrition of children, and it leads to a weaker society.
Ramadar Singh stated that the education is key to escaping the poverty-stricken life, adding that the government has been doing what it can as he outlined the initiatives that the government has been taking to combat poverty in this country.
Education is the surest way out of poverty, but you can do many other things. But not everyone, there's not a lot of room for the Brian Laryas and the Marshall Montanos and Dwight Yorks and all the other stars. But if you have your dream, you can make it happen. The programs that we have with the URP Social to help the mothers who have cerebral palsy children to have an income so that they can support their children. And the new program where we will have for single mothers of large families, where we will train them through DVD instructional videos about self-empowerment, self-development, self-esteem, maths and English, alphanumeric skills they will learn at home because they have 3 and 4 children and they cannot leave the house. Those are the programs that will change the dimensions of poverty in Trinidad and Tobago.
A promise of jobs for persons in Laventille and Environs will be made a reality from as early as next week. The Ministry of National Security today launched its People and Projects for Progress program at the St. Paul Street Community Centre in Port of Spain, and scores of residents turned up to register for the program. Nicole Duki has more.
Government is continuing its thrust to curb the spiraling crime situation. One such initiative is the provision of jobs for persons living in areas known for crime. National Security Minister Jack Warner has been hosting a series of community meetings in such areas where he has been listening to the concerns of residents. They all had the same concern. Many of them are unemployed and are unable to get jobs. In light of this, the Ministry of National Security this morning launched its People and Projects for Progress program at the St. Paul Street Community Centre in Port of Spain. Minister Warner told the residents members of the army would manage the program.
And tell all of those people who are standing on the sidelines hoping to extort money from you that that is a thing of the past.
The program is also being done in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development. It will see the development of East Port of Spain, which government has been working towards. Minister Warner explained that the program will be expanded to other areas across the country.
This program will be carried out in all the other areas like Maloney, Carapo, and Central, and so on, and Carenage.
The National Security Minister, however, told the interested persons that there is one thing they would have to adhere to.
But anybody who commits a criminal offense or anybody who is charged by the police while this project is going on and is employed, it will affect negatively his or her employment.
Some of the work to be done will be the refurbishment of buildings and landscaping. Reporting for 7 Eyewitness News, I am Nicole Dookie.
We'll now take a short commercial break. Stay with us for so much more ahead. Welcome back. This is 7 Eyewitness News. And some other news now. Petrotrin's president Khalid Hassan Ali says reports that the company has incurred a $2 billion loss from its cat cracker are not true. It was in Senate yesterday that opposition Senator Terrence Dayal Singh said the loss was as a result of Petrotrin's cat cracker being down for the past 16 months. But speaking to the media today, Hassan Ali says the only $2 billion spent by the company over the last few months was to purchase blending stock. He says the cat cracker was actually working while it was being upgraded, but admitted that there have been cost overruns for a project that should have been already completed.
And the cost has also moved from an estimate of 156 million to somewhere in the high 400s in terms of millions of US dollars. And therefore, there has been delays, there has been cost overruns, and only within recent times, within some time this year, that we've had some extra delays from one was a boiler accident.
Hassan Ali says Petrotrin has not been able to control its costs over the years and adds that this will have to be dealt with as steps are being taken to stabilize the declining oil production. The state company, he says, also has not taken care of its assets over the years, and today Petrotrin needs those very same assets.
We used to have a jetty in Sobo, in Liberia. It's not very, it wasn't very operational right now. We had a lot of good tanks in Point Fortin, which we're going to have to bring back, to do a lot of things right now as well.
The Petrotrin president also admitted that the state-owned refinery will have to put a cap on some of its wells that are in the way of the construction of the Point Fortin highway.
We may be abandoning about 20 wells that are very low producers, and most of which are non-producing at all. And abandonment just means pumping cement in the casing and making them safe so that you can build houses on them.
Meanwhile, a company called Superior Industrial Services Limited has been awarded a multi-million-dollar contract by several state companies. According to opposition Senator Fitzgerald Hines, that company is very familiar to the government. Judy Kanai has those details.
Opposition Senator Fitzgerald Hines is calling on Attorney General Anil Ramlogan to investigate corruption at several state companies. First, Hines says Superior Industrial Services Limited was awarded a $49 million contract for the Superior Market facility. The contract, he says, was originally $36 million, was awarded by the Palo Seco Agricultural Services Limited.
If you working in big shot people place and you are a little contractor, you're very happy for the world to know. But when the media and other people went to see who was doing the work on the site of this residence in Philippines, they found, it was reported to me, that the logo, the company logo on the doors was sprayed out on the trucks and everything. They're hiding the fact that they were doing work at a certain well-known, expensive mansion in the Philippines. SIS don't only operate with the PSAEL, you know. They're in WASA too. So when I tell you my friends over here, Minister George, is he gone? He was Minister of Public Utilities in charge of WASA. Speaking during the budget debate in Senate, Hines says SIS contracts didn't stop there. They were hired by WASA after bidding for a $65 million project. They bid $65 million, but they got the contract in WASA for $69 million. It took the acting CEO, Dian Abdul, to come in and to cancel the contract. I want the Attorney General to investigate that. But Minister of the Environment and Water Resources, Ganga Singh, who is the former CEO of WASA, says the matter is actually under investigation.
I remember when this matter was brought to my attention, I I indicated to the board I want a report. The board has indicated that there was interference in the process because it is a cyber interference, and because they were using the analytical hierarchy system. They have enlisted the services of Deloitte and Touche to investigate this matter.
But the opposition MP wasn't prepared to let the minister off the hook so easily.
You see all he explained there? At the bottom line, it was corruption. See, I am submitting that they are murdering the taxpayers of this country in Wassa, murdering us.
And the Wassa scandal continues.
Ish Galvarancing Company, I'm not pulling any punches. He just rented 50 cars to Wassa, ongoing contract, even while matters were pending. It is said to me that most of the directors have businesses that doing business and inside and with Wassa, doing their own business through Wassa and murdering the taxpayers of this country.
Judy Kanhai, 7 Eyewitness News.
And sticking with state companies, the Agricultural Development Bank and its chairman is also being scrutinized. Opposition Senator Fitzgerald Hines is accusing Chairman Rudy Mirage of poor governance and mismanagement.
Involving operational matters in the bank, interviewing staff alone, receiving resumes, he alone, behaving like an executive chairman.
And he also spoke about the ADB's wild spending spree.
$6,000 for a product launch. Sorry, they budgeted $200,000. He oversaw $600,000 expenditure on the matter. Independence decorations for 2012 cost the company $400,000 ADB when they had budgeted $40,000. These are things I want you to investigate. All the printing for the bank is done by a printry owned by the chairman.
His comments on the irregularities at state companies come one day after the planning minister said that all state boards were being reviewed by cabinet. Stay with us, much more ahead. Welcome back in some other news now. It is indeed a great day for not only for the residents of Laventille but for all of Trinidad and Tobago. And this from Sport Minister Anna Roberts at the launch of the Hoop of Life initiative hosted in St. Bob's, Laventille earlier today. Roberts explained that this initiative is an opening for young people who were born into poverty to be given a fair chance at life.
This ball poor, they are born with a harder life. Hoop of Life is one of the ways that we are going to make the playing field even. If one child, one person, one individual can come out of the Hoop of Life program, not only playing basketball, this is talent identification, it's life skills, it's management, it's company and business development, financial development, opportunity for advancement. It is an opportunity for a sustainable future. It starts off with instilling the requisite skills of discipline, punctuality, hard work.
The Sport Minister noted that the Hoop for Life program is in fact a hope for life. And this plan taken by the Ministry of National Security is a collaborative effort by the government, including the Ministry of the People and Social Development, Sport, Food Production and Housing. The long-term goal is for talent identification to create opportunities for advancement and general socialization. Well, in some more news of the Hoop of Life initiative taken by the government, Minister of National Security Jack Warner during the feature address explained that this plan by the government is one of many interventions about the government's effort to reduce and prevent crime. The program comprises of 720 persons who will each receive a stipend of $250 a week. And the dawn of a new era is how Warner described today, as he hopes that the Hoop of Life will turn around the lives of hundreds of troubled persons in a positive way. Warner made a special plea to the residents of Laventille to join the rest of the nation in the fight against crime. In closing, he sent a message to his critics.
You're telling me we can't change? You're telling me we can't change? All those who therefore oppose us, what we are doing, take that. All those who want to curse the police and so on, you take that. All those who don't have faith that there are people out there who want to change and who want to reform their lives, you take that. Because mark your words, there are persons out there who don't like what we have here today, who will not like what we are doing. Because what we are doing here is giving people hope, trying, of course, to satisfy a dream. In fact, I want to tell you, this government, Mrs. Prasad Bissasa's government, is about restoring confidence in the people once again.
And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's newscast. I'm Samantha Raja, wishing you a very safe and blessed night on behalf of all of us here at Eyewitness Communications.